Hi everyone, the Mature Simmer here. Welcome to Marias Pass, scenario number 23. Return to Whitefish, part 2. Says it should be easy, 40 minutes, so a little bit shorter than last time. Okay, 7293, your helper Loco is staying here and has unhooked the hopper wagons. You're now clear to head out after that eastbound has passed. Go ahead and pull up to the signal and wait there. Radio out. Hopper's got a little bit of a problem, but alright, 4 simple steps. Could take forever though. Alright, so we're pulling up. So going via cut bank 1. Can't go beyond 35, but right now can't go beyond 15, so. And we're a little shorter, I'm guessing, because the helper locomotive being dropped off, but you know, we're still across the road where we were, so hopefully we weren't here for days. Cars would have been pretty upset if we were. Come on. What a start. Alright, well, I'm going downhill is the problem again. I forgot about that. Here comes another train. But pretty long. Not quite there yet. But yeah, looks like he dropped off over there. I'm trying to make sure I don't drift away again. Alright. Oh. I kind of do have to stop this time. I was just going to keep going, but it is a 1-lane bridge. That could have been really ugly. So I don't know that I'd say this is that easy. So we got to wait for him to get past us. So just waiting away there. But I remember this bridge. I think I had a pretty good view coming across it the other way. But yeah, the signals are important, and normally I do try to honor them, but sometimes they're confusing. So he's just about on the bridge with the last few cars. So there we go. Now he's definitely on the bridge with the last few cars. So. And hopefully he's not stopping like I did, but he appears to be moving along at the same pace. Just a question of when the signal will change and when we'll be able to go. I'm sure it'll take a tiny bit of time here. But obviously it's less expensive to do a single rail bridge than it is something else, so. Alright, it is green, so we are now able to proceed. Oops, gotta turn my brake off, that would help. Like, why am I not accelerating? That would be why. But he's on his way. I'm on mine. Everything is great. And at least this time I didn't get a signal pass at danger. At least not for this one. Now it's red again, obviously. We've entered the block. I can go 30, so I want to be careful. 35 there, according to... Whoops. Wish there was some finer way to zoom in and out. I mean, maybe I guess, if I... No, that just moves me. I mean, that does zoom me in differently, but I don't know. Well, maybe it's the same thing. Anyway, we are now on this lovely bridge ourselves. So, I assume these things are inspected regularly. I don't know. But trust we'll make it across. Although that was a weird squeaky sound. I don't know that I like that. Alright, we're still going downhill, so I'm gonna slow down here so that I don't have anything unexpected. Those signals are facing the other way, so can't even see them, but basically just for the bridge. Alright, so Paigan, 15.6 miles away. So let me hop in the locomotive. Although sometimes I wonder if, I don't know, it's a nice view this way too. Maybe I'll take this trip this way as we get closer to the mountains. Alright, so I know I can speed up some, so I'm gonna do that. Now we're at 0. We're not going downhill anymore, at least. But we will be going downhill, but we first have to get up to Marias Pass. We haven't even gotten there yet, so... So, a little bit of silos. Looks like a farm up on that hill that we're going around here a bit. But at this point, I think... Yeah, that's step 2, and then we're going to go Blackfoot House track east, and then stop at west, so not a lot of instructions, but here we go, kind of meandering through the countryside here. We're climbing now, 1.3. So I did happen to see there's a new old school steam locomotive, the Challenger, that got released. And they were talking about it kind of goes with the Wasatch Range, which is another route I haven't done anything on it yet. But reading through some of that announcement and looking at that route a little bit more, it has 2% grades, so like we had it 1.3 for a second there. Mainly this is 1%. So we finally try that one out. That one could get real interesting real quick, I guess, but that's up in, my understanding is Washington State. Again, I'm at 100%, but slowing down. But it looks like we're going to flatten out here shortly. Thinking part of the meandering is to maintain the grade. I think if they went straight, the grade would be steeper. So, very interesting, to say the least. So this is a pretty sweeping curve here. Wow. And we continue to do that as we roll through these hills. So yes, I'm sure a large part of this is to maintain a reasonable grade. They did what they did with the track. But it does look like in the map in the bottom that we are leveling out at some point. I think maybe right around that curve, or pretty close to where we're at here. Very nice, that's for sure. No, I haven't been turning on my lights again. Should be doing that. So, let me fix that now that I've realized it. We are still climbing, and looking at that around the turn, it looks like we still are going to climb for a little bit here. It definitely looks like an increase in grade. So, got about a quarter mile to that signal. Got maybe a mile or so of visibility, even up here at a little higher level. Signals are green. I'm paying a little more attention this time, because if I had just run that other one like I've done so many other times, because it really didn't matter, that would have been bad. I do not want to crash a train. Alright, back up to a 1% grade. But yeah, you can see the fences on both sides kind of giving us the right of way, so I think I mentioned the going the other way, I vaguely recollect. But that road along the fence must be our access road for track maintenance and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, we may be climbing for a bit here. But I think we've got these couple long legs, and then I think the others might be a little bit shorter in distance, but they may be longer in time, because I think then once we get in the mountains, we're not able to go, even 45 like we theoretically can go here. We're not getting anywhere near that. We're barely maintaining the upper 30s, but we're doing everything we can. To 37.1, I'm actually accelerating a little bit. Amazing. But yeah, at some point we'll obviously be heading back into the mountains. So that should be a little bit more to see and chat about, but not that, this is beautiful in its own way too, just fields of wheat or something on both sides. Pretty nice. Continue to accelerate. Look at that. We're at 37.6. And at this point, we could be going 60, so it must be straightening out a bit. We're done with the meandering curves, I'm guessing. And it could be an optical illusion, but it seems like the ground is rising up in front of us. Obviously the game will render only so much as we go. But yeah, clearly a straighter run right now. We're still climbing, but it looks like we're flattening out. So, looks like maybe up to the road, just by the road near us, you can see, but then it drops down, so it like goes up and down a bit. So we'll see. We just need to be careful if we start heading downhill again that I pay attention, but I've got plenty of space between here and my speed limit, so. Alright, we're down to 0.3. So now we're actually making some speed progress as well. And obviously once the back end of the train gets off the slope, because I'm sure there's a little bit of drag there, well, this should get better then. But yeah, I would say I think we're seeing the mountains ahead of us. I don't know this line well enough, if Pygon or Pegan, I know we talked about this before, I don't know how to say it. Pegan would sound more like an Indian pronunciation, I guess, because I'm guessing out west here a lot of the things are Indian names. We just took them and used them, because why not? And I'm sure the early settlers were like, yeah, it sounds really cool, we'll just call it what they told us they call it, in our own way. Alright, so there's the farm building rising out of the sky there, so someone's got a nice setup, little house, silo. There's another, so maybe those are 2 farms, so this might be that field. This is over here with this one, maybe? Or maybe he's got his own field. We just haven't gotten there yet. I don't know, because there is a road between them. Maybe one has nothing to do with the other. I don't know. It's not really that important, so I'll stop speculating. You know, I did realize we didn't get a joke from RBJets in the last scenario. Did they stop doing that? Wow. I'm sure at some point it gets difficult to put these together. I don't really know. I mean, you're not having to draw the map, so I don't know how involved this all gets. Maybe one of these days I'll dabble in it and see if I can come up with something. I always enjoy trying to figure stuff out, so at this point I can share, and you'll have seen them on the channel appearing already by the time this comes out. So as I'm recording these, I have started playing another sim, Rail Route, which is more of a, not a text-based sim, but it's certainly not as visual as this for train simulation. And it's really more, it's called a train dispatcher simulator. So you're really kind of operating the switchboard, so, you know, or the control board, whatever they call it. I am not familiar with railroad industry lingo. I better be careful, I'm getting close to 60 here. So it's just lines and signals and kind of routing trains and pausing time and so forth. But in that, you can create some maps, so I've kind of started poking around there. So it got me thinking as I was here that, you know, eventually, maybe one of these days, maybe I'll come up with some kind of scenario. But right now, I'm just enjoying the play itself of just running these trains. Getting a lot closer to the mountains. They're starting to look more and more real here. I think that's where we are heading. I know that's where we're heading. I'm just trying to be a little humorous, but this was a pretty straight run of track here. Now we'll be turning a bit. We are still climbing a bit, but obviously that makes sense as we get closer to the mountains. It somewhat graphically looks like the slope gets steeper over there. Of course, now we're not climbing at all, so that may just be going back to the point 3.4 that we were at. Not sure. But yeah, I've been enjoying Rail Route. It's one of those that is a little more challenging. I don't know that it would make exciting YouTube videos to sit and watch me play that. You know, here at least you can watch the countryside roll by. We can talk about it. There's, you know, not a whole lot to talk about in that game unless I'm telling you what I'm doing, and in some cases, if I've got to be doing a lot, it's one of the game modes that kind of requires the attention to do a lot, and therefore the talking is much more disjointed, or where I screw things up as I go along, because I don't have the focus on what I'm trying to do in the sim that I need to be successful. Oh, well, we were at 0.9, now we're back at 0, so I guess I'll drop back down so I don't go too fast. Well, now we're at 0.7. I don't know. It's the throttle chasing the hill is probably the best explanation I can give. Sorry, I just bumped the microphone. So I'm sure that came across as a little bit of a thump. Alright, now we're down to 0 again, but I'll just keep an eye on my speed. Looks like this road goes around that farm or something. Although in theory this is all within our right-of-way, because you can see the fence, it kind of goes out along with it. So it's almost like this is the railroad's grain depot or something. But yeah, I've definitely, I've spent a lot of time on this route in Marias Pass. Clearly long enough. Ooh, not a good graphic effect there as it's trying to determine what it's going to draw. Maybe as we get closer, because now you can see things are piecing together, so I'm sure we're getting planes that are coming into view that then others are slightly behind it, and it doesn't give us a solid wall. But now it's a little better, other than the shimmering effect we're getting. But that may be... No, it's not my smoke, because when I do that, it's still shimmering. So it's just how the graphics are being drawn by the game engine. And maybe it doesn't even come across in YouTube, so maybe you don't even know what I'm talking about. Who knows? But basically those mountains are shimmering. The one on the right finally almost stopped. Now there's still little blinking parts in there, but I'm sure as I get closer, speaking of getting closer, I'm speeding up suddenly. Whoop. Alright, so that's interesting. Oh, I see we're going downhill, so let me be careful, because this can get away from me very quickly. But now, yes, we've got a 0.7% grade. So I'm sure once the engine runs down here and things settle in there, we're suddenly going to start moving along a bit. So yeah, the question is, in the 3.5 miles we have left, are we going to reach the mountains, or are we still going to have to move forward in the next scenario to get close before we enter them? I think we're going to Blackfoot. I don't remember exactly where that is in proximity to the mountains. But yeah, now we're 0.8 downhill, and we are finally starting to speed up a bit. Oh, now we're slowing down, but now we're also coming back to 0, so turn on the little bit of power, help it along. At least try to maintain speed, if nothing else. So, we'll see. Alright. Turn that signal red as we enter the block. So, getting close, getting close. But pretty uneventful scenario. Just enjoying the aspect of rolling down the rails. But yeah, definitely getting there. And it does appear the mountains are quickly coming into focus. Getting bigger and bigger. But I don't think we're quite going to get there. We'll obviously be 2 miles closer, but I think they're further away than that. I was going to say, I see another signal up there. So very close to, there we go, Pygon Main 1 West, I assume, is what we're going to see. Oh, east, okay. So we got to go via west, but... So are we just passing through? Yeah, I guess so. But it could be very close, so who knows. Kinda don't have a watch or time and a clock in front of me, so I don't know if it's been 45 minutes. I don't think they're 40 minutes. I don't think it has. But either way, we're just passing through here. I think we can see the pieces on the sides. We're climbing again. which obviously we're going to need to do to get to Marias Pass, but yeah, it looks like these switches here are Pipe Pegan, I don't know. So we'll get through here and then we'll see. So maybe by the time we get to where we need to stop, we will be closer to the mountains. Not sure. But now we're in east, and we're basically then getting through west, so that's just basically the switch here. Alright, H7293. The cement hoppers you dropped at Blackfoot in leaving Whitefish Part 8 are now empty. Stop at Blackfoot House Track West so they can be added to your consist. Alright. So we dropped 10 cars, we're going to grab 8 more. So we're almost going to be back to the same length we were. And given that this is it, we've got to go there and then stop. So looks like it's a little bit over to the left from where we're at. But we've got 8 miles now still. So this is a good long scenario too, well over 20 miles. Which means between last one and this one we'll have gone 40 to 50 miles at least down the line. So a lot of the way back as we return to Whitefish. Just slowly speeding up because I can go a little faster and it seems to be working. So yeah, now with 8 miles we may be right up against the foothills there. But we've got the power lines. Still more wheat fields on the left at least. Is there another train coming? I see something kind of materializing there. It's a train, a building, something, so it could be a siding where something is parked. Don't know. Guess as we get closer we'll find out what we're seeing. But again, the mountains are doing some weird rendering, as I'm sure again we're slowly getting to the point where all the contours are close enough that the computer says, yeah, I'm going to draw them now. So I'm just going to take a quick look inside. Yeah, they're doing the same thing. It's just the angle we're at. It's not as obvious being closer to the ground. Yeah, I don't think that's an oncoming train. I think it would have gotten bigger a lot faster than it is right now. I think that's, yep, there we go. Now we can see buildings and other things, so it's just a siding with some trains on it. But yeah, we're headed pretty straight here. Looks like we're turning off to the right, if I'm seeing that coming into view correctly. But I think where we're headed is still off, yeah, to the left, so we're gonna have to move back in that direction. But obviously we're going to follow things. Looks like up here somewhere. I'm thinking those are signals on the line that we're just being able to see because they're lit up, but obviously we'll find out as we get closer and as we start to pass them. There we go. 1.25 miles away. Just trying to not lose focus and suddenly speed again, even though obviously I started the episode out making a mistake as I pulled off, but forgetting it was downhill. And at this point we're just flat. Not quite sure why we're suddenly hearing the locomotive that I think we passed a while ago, but That's when we heard it. So yeah, I'm wondering if that little dip here in the mountains is ultimately Marias Pass and where we're headed, or, I mean, could obviously be this one too, so who knows. Alright, 58.2, we're climbing again as we get closer, so we've got a yellow signal. So just need to proceed with caution, and that could simply be because we've got to slow down here. Actually, we've got to slow down pretty fast, so let me help this along before I have a problem. But there we go. So now we're down to 50. Just a sharp turn here. So remember we said Blackfoot was off to the left? Well, here we go, heading to the left. So slowed down a bit too much. So we'll try to get ourselves up. Oh, it looks like maybe we'll just keep going. I was going to say, are we just going to swing right back? But no, we're not. So there's that monument. I think I remember seeing that on the way out here. Marking something, I'm sure, that's important. But we can't get out and run up the hill, nor really should we. But it's clearly an obelisk of some sort that I'm sure commemorates some battle against Indians or something that, you know, it's probably less than a great thing, but good to remember it and put a marker up, even if it was something that was maybe something that was ill-advised to do, but, you know, not that it's an excuse, but people thought differently, and, you know, hopefully we've gotten a little more civilized and willing to work together, but that's questionable, I would imagine, too, by folks, so, including myself, honestly. You know, I think there's a lot of inability to compromise and work together. It shouldn't be as hard as it is. I was like playing with it, thinking I'm going to rise back up, and I was slowing down and literally just touching the gas, so split second of speeding again, but got it under control pretty fast. Alright, 2 miles. So again, we've certainly gotten closer to the mountains, but I think we've still got a little ways to go. So now again, the question here is, that light's definitely red. I don't know that I'm going to be able to stop. So I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble. Alright, well, I'm through, so I guess at this point it is what it is. So I tried to do the right thing, but I'm not sure that it would have cleared up on me. So that's the problem with the signals, is like, why was it red? And maybe it's because something's up ahead, maybe I should have waited. I don't know. Without it giving us a score, it's hard to tell. And obviously it'll flag us, I'm sure, for passing a signal at danger. I'm so proud of myself for doing it to begin with, but, Yeah, I just don't know. What I haven't tried is like, okay, if I stop, does it eventually turn green, or will I just be sitting there for 20 minutes and nothing happens? Because the blinking red signal at the bottom did stop blinking when I entered. So it seemed we did trigger something by crossing. But I just don't know that we have to stop with that. Alright, so a little over a mile. Again, closer to the mountains. They're fluttering a lot less, other than in the center there. And I'm thinking those buildings are where we need to be, so let me get on the map here. Oops. So we're going to show the task, and we're going Blackfoot House track east. Okay, so I think we're good. Whoops. Haven't done that in a while. Hitting the escape key. Alright, but you know what? I need to slow down, because what's going to happen is this thing is going to hit that switch, and I'm going to need to be going 15, and I'm not. And I'm going to have the same problem, because it's going to move me over here. Alright, well, I'm doing everything I can. I should be okay, I would hope. But we're coming up on it pretty quick, so... Oh, and this tells me 15 if I just looked. Silly me. Alright. So, we'll get going. Once the brakes release a little, we'll speed up a bit again. But again, we can get up to 15 pretty fast, so just need to be careful. It looks like we're at least going uphill, which is always a good thing. So there we go. At least we didn't get a speeding penalty there. Alright. So we were speeding up a lot for a bit. I don't know why, but okay. Just need to be careful. So gotta go 0.93. So we're stopping at west, so I think we got to get past that Y. Because, yeah, I think we dropped those over there, so that's what it looks like. They've got a little engine like when we were doing stuff. So I think then they'll get moved on to us. So once we pass, they'll probably pull them and attach. And then we'll be ready to go next scenario, I assume, with them added to our train. So we'll be a little bit longer again. But right now we've got a mile. Looks like another train coming along. We've got a grade of some sort. Are we going? Yeah, we're going uphill again. So just need to be careful. Alright. So I just slowed it down, sped up. Yeah, I guess we'll slow down again. Get ourselves down a bit. But yeah, I'm thinking those are because there are 8 cars there, so I'm thinking that is us and what will get added to us in a bit. So, started out with a train passing us. Looks like we're going to end with a train passing us. I wonder if that's the same 3416. It sounds familiar. Like, I wonder if it's the same engine we were using when things had to be done, or however that all worked. Whoops, I'm slowing down more than I need to again. Just being now extra careful, and that doesn't help anything, so, because we haven't even entered the front of Blackfoot Track West yet with our train, let alone the half mile or whatever that I need to go to really stop on it. Let's say, getting dangerously close, and I don't understand. It's like you drop it and it slows down, and then you touch it and it just like takes off. It's crazy. Alright, so I'm sure again I need to kind of get up where that truck is. So we'll slowly drift our way there at 15 miles an hour. Takes a little bit of time. If I go back here, and at least we're fully on. Oh yeah, we've been fully on for a bit, it looks like. And the good news is, well, there we go, we're clear of the road already. So unlike last time, we're not going to be blocking everybody like we were. But still about a quarter mile. So we will have the train sitting on the bridge over that little culvert. See, and this is where, and then it just jumps. Like, all I'm doing is moving it to 13%, and it's suddenly like, ooh, I have extra power. Let's do something. Because, yeah, in theory, I probably need to be past that Y, but obviously I can't go too far. And I guess all we really need to be past is the other end, which I'm pretty sure we are. Alright, so let me now start doing this. Yep, we are past that, so if it pulls out and then pulls this in, we'll be good. There we go. 0.02 miles, almost perfect. So glad we got that done, but another, like I said, 20 plus miles down the line here. So we're getting close. We're continuing to move. Welcome, guys. Thanks for stopping and clearing out these hoppers. Hold tight, and we'll have you back on your way in a few minutes. Up next, coming soon, Return to Whitefish Part 3, scenario complete. So as opposed to last time, where I think I missed one of the stops, but here I was speeding 3 times. No passing signals, but again, it was 26 miles, so yeah, it was 52 miles between this scenario and the last one. But I'll see you next time.